Gee, I don't even know how to address this.
I understand.
You remember our Sunday school class today, right? One of the main difficulties we have in the church is being judgmental, and not
Yes,
accepting
yeah.
people for who they are. And how do you say something about the Super Bowl and tell
Come on.
people that their faith is not what it should be if they watch the Super
Yes,
Bowl? And
yes.
you just can't say stuff like that because I don't know.
Is this something, a topic that we can discuss, but we know the answer, something like that? Or we can, go to this discussion without offending the other, or,
I think the best way to approach it is to say that the church has made a lot of changes recently, and they've gone away from um, strict dictated standards to principles and doctrines.
Mhm.
And the beauty of that is that it lets you accept it emphasizes that everybody's at a different point in their life at at implementing gospel principles in their life, and we all need to accept each other based on that.
Please welcome, Lance Curtis. Welcome, Lance.
Good to join you.
All right.
Do a free flow thought process on
Yes.
who
No,
am
go
I?
ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. No problem.
I'm an engineer, and all the things that you hear about engineers, you can put that tag on me because I know it's part of how I think. And I was a 40-year engineer with IBM. I graduated from college with a mechanical engineering degree, joined IBM, and then 40 years later, I retired. I've had one job my whole life. It's all been technical. First half of my job was dealing with mechanical and electrical things and science. The last half of my job, I found I wasn't so good with the science part. That is, my peers were able to think faster, do things faster, do the math, write the programs. I found that I was better working with people and taking things that were complex. Although I couldn't deal with the complex things at work, I could take the complexity and boil it down in simple things for
Mhm.
that I could understand, and then explaining that to other people. So last half of my job, I was an interface between IBM and Dell. Dell buys a lot of computer equipment from IBM, and so I retired about a year and a half ago, and I love retirement. My job being between IBM and Dell was conflictual. I don't like conflict. Dell wanted the world. IBM didn't want to spend any money, just wanted Dell to buy a lot of things, and I got caught in the middle. So I'm glad to be done with that part of my life. I'm really enjoying retirement. My dad was an FBI agent. We moved all around the country. So I've seen a lot of places in the U.S. I was born in Ohio. We lived in Utah, where my mom's from. Then we moved to Texas, Tennessee. I graduated from high school in Pennsylvania. Family moved to New Jersey. I spent a little bit of time there. And then my folks retired back here to Utah. Of course, I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I love my faith. I got a firm testimony that the gospel of Jesus Christ has been restored in the last days, and that we're nearing his second coming, and I can see world events unfolding in preparation for that, which I am looking forward to. My young days, I mean, when I was a kid, I was in Utah till I was in like 5th grade. So we lived here for a while around my dad's family, but then he joined the FBI. And so during the years where you really come to be yourself, junior high school and high school, that
Mhm.
was Houston, Texas, Murfreesboro, Tennessee,
Oh.
Nashville, Tennessee. I graduated in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And
Mhm.
so my mindset is the mission field, and being a member of the church in all the places that we lived was unusual. And my mom and dad were both they had strong testimonies of Christ and the restoration of the gospel, and they brought me up in the faith. And but my logical mind, sort of like my father, was hesitant to say that I believed something was true, or that I knew something was true, without seeing and touching and feeling. I had trouble with that. So whereas I never really doubted the things that I'd been taught, I felt strongly. I grew up listening to the Joseph Smith story on a record, and the power of that story just was always with me. And the Book of Mormon, I remember reading that as a high school student, and the power that it had, the goodness that I felt in that book. But I couldn't translate that into I know. It came time to be a missionary. I left on my mission when our family was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I worried going out in the mission field and being able to look people in the eye, and say, I know that the gospel's been restored to the earth. And so I can tell you a lot of mission experiences where I grew a lot, but I don't think it was till I was 50 years old that I really felt like I could say I know.
Okay.
This has kind of turned into more of a testimony meeting.
Yeah.
But hey, the story of my life the story of all of our lives is our own testimony, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's going to be worthy for a book to be written. How old are you right now, Latch?
I'm 68.
Oh, wow.
68.
So 2 years from now, you'll be 70.
Yep.
All right. So let's shift gear now to where we are right now. We're in Utah. We're in Hubble Creek Ward, First Ward.
Yep.
We belong to Hubble West Hubble Creek Stake. Can you tell us more about, I often hear this, they call it a Utah culture. Do we have really a Utah culture that, different from other state when you are a Latter-day Saints?
Yeah, I'll tell you my experience. And the other thing to know about me is I raised my family in the mission field. So it wasn't just my young life that I was in the mission field. Then I went on a mission, and then when I took I came to BYU, and BYU was great. You have students from all over the world, and the whole reason why you're there is because of the gospel of Jesus Christ, and your education is part of your I don't know. It's all related to the gospel and your testimony. So BYU was a great experience for me. But then I went to Tucson, Arizona, so back to the mission field, and worked with the young adults in the university, and then got married, raised my family, spent 30 more years there raising my family in the mission field. So then my kids came out to BYU, started to have grandkids, and I moved out here. So my experience for Utah culture is, coming from a life in the mission field and then coming to Utah. Now, your story is similar, but you've got another.
Yes.
I mean, at least I've been in the U.S. culture, right? And you're coming from a totally different culture, but coming to Utah was a cultural shock to me. It was very.
Oh, really? So even as a local, you are here in the U.S., you're still shocked with the Utah culture.
Yeah, and it's just so different. Yeah. Now I'm getting sensitive. I know I'm being recorded, and I don't want to say anything.
Negatively.
Yeah, I don't want to. kind of stuck at knowing it. I'm just going to do my best at expressing
Yes.
what I experience here, and I don't think it's general Utah, because this is all I've known. This ward is all I've known since I've been in Utah. I've got some relatives up in Farmington. I've got a daughter in Lehigh. So I've been to homecomings and baby blessings and things. And I get the sense that things are different in different places in Utah. There are different ward codes. Even in our stake, the wards feel a little different. In the older parts of town, you've got families that have been here forever. In the newer parts of town, you've got a lot of people who've moved in recently from the mission field or from other places. So there's different feelings in different wards. There's different feelings in different parts of Utah. And all I know is my little world here in Hobble Creek, because when I came here as an engineer, I was still had my job. They let me move here. And so I was in my home for 8 years and not really out in the community.
I mean, just
So
explain to us in a way that we won't we won't be offensive. We just want to know because many of my friends who came from the Philippines, they would really notice this thing,
yeah,
and I don't want them to feel that they just them who feel that way. I'm trying to make a general information that these are just natural. Even the local from other places are also getting not really shocked, but they feel the difference between living in Utah compared to other states.
yeah, and I have some friends that are also Hispanic, and they go through something similar also. So I can relate to them because of the cultural difference that I've felt. But I'm sure it's even deeper for them because they're leaving behind a lot of things that were familiar to them. Um, and it's just different here in Utah. And I've seen different people have different, varying amounts of success with making that transition.
Mhm.
And that would be an interesting topic to pursue also. But so when I came here,
Yeah, we can do that on our next episode.
yeah, yeah. So in the mission field, away from Utah, you feel unique. You feel different. The church is something that makes you different, and um, and being different is something that my kids grew up with too. As they went to school, they had there's things like the word of wisdom. You don't smoke and you don't drink, and things like modesty and dress, and just a lot of things that become visible, and people ask you about them. They're curious, and they find out that you have standards that are a little bit different than things that are common in the world. And so one of the things that was difficult in coming here to Utah is that difference is taken away because it's part of your identity, being different, and feeling good about it. I mean, the difference was something you were trying to live in your life that was good,
Yes.
uh, uh, so that was part of your identity. And so you come here to Utah and you're not different anymore. You're just the same as everybody else. But
I'm glad you said that.
it, there's an element, and I'm creating this, just trying to remember and synthesize 10 years. But there's a difference and then there's a sameness. I just lost the thought. Let me try again. So you lose the being different because everybody understands it already. It's not like um, you could explain it to people and it was new to them.
Mhm.
Uh, but here, you already know it. It's like it's old. It's not interesting. It's not. Who cares?
Yeah.
Um, but in the mission field, you felt a kinship with all the different people. I suppose you're a subculture
Yes.
within a larger culture, and it's like you hook arms together and
Yeah.
doing this together, and we feel good about it, and we bear testimonies on Sunday to strengthen our faith in what we're doing. We read scriptures and we pray and we remind ourselves of important principles. And you come here and you don't have that kinship anymore.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I cut you short. I mean, I cut you. But my experience while we were in Houston for 6 years, that is exactly how I felt there. And then when I moved to Utah, my bishop, who is from Salt Lake, he told me, Brother Alvaro, it's a different ball game out there. I don't know what he meant, but yeah, okay, whatever, Bishop, because I have my family there, I can secure my testimony, and probably over time I could build my own friends there. But this was his word when he said that to me. Uh, it's a different ball game, so he knows what he is saying, really, and you have confirmed it, but right now that there's really a transition or a change that you need to go through.
Yeah, yeah. It's hard to articulate it, but I think that feeling of being part of something special, that's a good way to put it. The feeling of being part of something special was taken away when I
Mhm.
moved here. Um, and the people that I wanted, the people that I wanted to feel that with, I couldn't, because that's what your ward is.
Mhm.
Your ward are those people that protect you and that you feel that camaraderie with. And I lost that. It was, and it was a hard loss. And this is coming from a guy who doesn't make a lot of friends, but in in uh, in Tucson, just bumping up against people, serving with people, serving next to them, you get to know them, and those friendships develop. Even though I didn't chase after them, so even though it wasn't an overt friendship, you still felt this camaraderie, and I still feel it when I go back to Tucson. I had
Yes.
a lot of opportunities to go back there. You sit in the elders quorum, and it's like, oh, I'm back. It feels really
Yeah.
good. Um, and it's developed here. Um, but it's taken a long time uh, for it to develop here, and it's grown as my individual relationships have grown.
Okay.
Uh,
So let's move forward with in relation to the Utah culture thing. Explain to me or explain to my viewers regarding the Super Bowl. We just had our Super Bowl a while ago, and how would I say it? Back in the Philippines, where we care so much about Sabbath day, and you have to keep it holy and things like that. But then when I came to Utah, I saw I saw different. Can you expound to us how you take uh, that not issue, but something that like an activity where members of the church, even active members of the church, feel that they're just normal, you know, Sabbath morning or Sabbath afternoon, because we are in the family after all. I mean, can you shed light on a bit of my concern or my questions right now to
yeah,
wrap our uh, wrap, to wrap it up with our conversation? I know it's getting late.
yeah, the Super Bowl thing is interesting. first of all, it's not just a Utah phenomenon.
Yes, yeah,
It's sort of a U.S. phenomenon.
yeah,
So even in the mission field on Super Bowl Sunday, well, gee, I don't even know how to address this.
I understand.
You remember our Sunday school class today, right? One of the main difficulties we have in the church is being judgmental, and not
Yes,
accepting
yeah.
people for who they are. And how do you say something about the Super Bowl and tell
But
people that their faith is not what it should be if they watch the Super
yes,
Bowl? And
yes.
you just can't say stuff like that because I don't know.
Is this something, a topic that we can discuss, but we know the answer, something like that, or we can, go to this discussion without offending the other, or
I think the best way to approach it is to say that the church has made a lot of changes recently, and they've gone away from um, strict dictated standards to principles and doctrines.
Mhm.
And the beauty of that is that it lets you accept it emphasizes that everybody's at a different point in their life at at implementing gospel principles in their life, and we all need to accept each other based on that. um, like tattoos or watching R-rated movies, or I mean dating when you're 16, that was a big
Yes.
thing. That was part of the camaraderie, with the mission field. We don't date till we're 16. You gotta I have four beautiful daughters, and all the guys really wanted to date them. And even out in the mission field, there were some people that did that, and there were some people that didn't do that. But it was an expression of our faith to try to follow the prophet and do the things that you were asked to do. But there was an unhealthy part of that, and I think in Utah it's magnified because it's the culture here.
Yes.
So one thing that was interesting when I came to Utah is our kids tried real hard and this relates to the Super Bowl.
Uh-huh.
I just don't know how to approach the Super Bowl. Okay, so
So
I'm talking about some of my past that's gonna relate, and we're gonna tie together. But there was an element of people in Tucson that wouldn't date till they were 16. They come here to Utah, and it's like that disappeared. Like it wasn't a thing at all. It's like my sons were the only people that were still trying to not date till they were 16.
yes.
And it was just like generally culturally rejected
Mhm.
here. And I was aghast at that. But that leads to judgmentalism, and
Yes.
that's maybe part of why I didn't feel a part of things, or I don't know. The church has gone away from those boundaries because those rules aren't the things that are important. It's your relationship with the Savior that's important.
Yes.
And you implement principles in your life as your relationship with your Savior grows. And the church just had to get out of that rules of righteousness kind
Mhm.
of mindset so that people could develop their relationships with Christ and not sit around in their armchairs and decide who is living the gospel and not by the number of rules that they could tell
Yes.
that they were living.
We just have to act and not to be acted upon, from based on our lesson this morning.
Right,
Yeah. After
right.
all, it's what we become, right?
So
Not on the righteousness that you did one step, after the other, but rather the whole totality, the holistic you,
that's
after
right.
all those choices that you made.
I didn't grow up in a sports family. So sports are
Okay.
not part of my religion, right? Some families grow up in sports families where it's a deeply embedded part of who they are.
Okay.
It's like a Tongan or a Samoan who, or the Polynesian people who grow up with tattoos, and they mean something
Yes.
when they're part of their culture. And so I wouldn't think about tattoos in a negative way for a Polynesian person that's expressing part of their culture. And I need to learn that about sports as being something that is deeply embedded cultural thing,
Okay.
and so I need to be more understanding in that area. Um, but I do want to tell you how I grew up, and then maybe people also feel judged when you don't watch the Super Bowl. You're
like
excluding
a
yourself.
like a self-righteous.
That's right, and
Yeah.
so you feel bad. So I hide my I sneak off and hide so that nobody knows I'm not watching the Super Bowl. So I don't get
did, did
labeled as
did you watch the Super Bowl a while ago?
no because of how I grew up. But
Yeah.
you have
Okay.
to
I get it.
understand how I grew up, so you don't judge me harshly for being a non-Super Bowl saint.
All right.
But yeah, my dad was not an athlete. My mom was not an athlete, and we didn't grow up watching sports, but they grew up very firmly committed to following the prophet and gospel principles. And as I grew up, I watched conference
So,
talks that
is it safe to categorize you as one in every 10?
yeah I have no idea.
Okay.
Everybody's so individual. I wouldn't even attempt to break it up like that. I don't I don't know. I don't know.
All right. So that will be our
Okay,
our
you might as well join. Okay, so here's my
I'm
daughter.
back.
hello. You're back.
You know,
I'm
she's
eavesdropping.
she's listening because she married into a Super Bowl
Ah,
family.
okay. Can you
Yes.
tell us regarding this tradition that we have here in the US? Because this is something strange back in the Philippines where people really, they will not go into what boxing is our thing there. I mean, you know, can you help your dad explain to us that your husband's family is into sports and your family is not?
Yeah. So I'm the same way. I grew up, sports was not a popular thing for us. So for me, not watching the Super Bowl on the Sunday is me not giving up anything that matters to me because it wasn't something I grew up with, but because my husband's family grew up, or my husband grew up with it, it is a very important thing. But not just because it's the Super Bowl, but because it's something that they did as a family.
You're being
Yes.
recorded, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah. No, but I'm saying it's an important thing to them because it was a family thing.
Mm.
And for them, Sunday is about, the Savior and about spending time with family.
Yes.
And the Super Bowl is something that they always looked forward to as a family, kind of like in the same way that you look forward to General Conference. It's
Mhm.
you make all this food for it, and you have little things that you do while you watch, and you come together, and you might go to like other like extended families' houses to watch like General Conference and to be together as a family. And that's how I feel like as I watch them, that's how they view the Super Bowl, that it's something that you do as a family in the same way that like General Conference. And I don't quite again have that same attachment to it because I didn't grow up with this.
Yes.
But it is just something that I feel like has been a part of their family and their grandparents, and like it's just been something that they've done for so long
Yes.
that yeah. So like my husband's dad and his grandparents and everything, it was just what they did as a family. So it like feels weird for them almost to not watch the Super Bowl because it feels like they're giving up that family tradition or that family time.
Yes. Did you watch the Super Bowl a while ago?
Yes,
Alright.
I did. I didn't necessarily watch it.
Okay.
We went over to my husband's family's house, and it was we're all in the main room together. But
Yes, yeah.
I'm more focused on the kids, and I'm taking care of the kids because we have 3 kids, and they're not interested in the Super Bowl. Because they're just super little and everything. And so I'm helping them and hanging out with them and playing with them. So I'm not really watching it, but I want to be together as a family.
Yes.
So I'm there as a family, or there with my family and everything. And me and my husband do have differing opinions on sports on Sunday and everything. But and we haven't quite figured that out yet. But
Yeah, it's something like it's hard to navigate, where you stand. And just like your dad said, we don't want to be like a self-righteous where you watch football and we don't, something like that, putting some what do you call
yeah.
it, like a barriers or something. But I
Yeah.
really appreciate your thoughts. Thanks for dropping by.
Sorry, I was listening. I like listening to my dad's take on things, and I admire him. So I was kind of eavesdropping, just being like, "Oh, I love my dad." Just kind
That's
of.
the reason why I choose your dad, because I cannot find anywhere where he's kind of passionate about what he knows about it. There are topics that we discuss, and I used to work. I mean, we were together. He was my eldest corp. I was his counselor, so we're kind of, we already established our
Yeah,
kind of thing.
you have that connection already. That's really
Yes,
cool.
yes, connection. I love that connection.
Yeah, I've never met anyone like my dad ever, so I really admire him.
So I'm not 1 in 10. I'm 1 in 6
Oh, okay,
billion.
good.
So I think the only person that I've ever met that I feel like I would say is kind of like he was Wyatt McGoffin. But other than that, I've never met
Who's
someone.
Wyatt?
Shanice's husband.
Oh, Wyatt. Oh,
He's
me
the
and Wyatt.
only other person I've met with like your level
Wow.
of.
If I could, it's just a chill conversation. I mean, nothing wrong, just good vibes.
Yes, good vibes. I love that.
Trying to
All
figure out
right.
life and-
Thank you, Lunch.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Bye.
Yep, bye.